Hi guys, this is Alfred from BinaryOptionsTutor.com, here today to have a little chat about a very important subject, which is really critical. It's almost impossible for you to be consistently profitable without acknowledging and applying the topic that we're going to cover today. It's not an amazing strategy. We're not really even finna look at this chart. We're not fin to talk about some amazing new indicator, some amazing new price action pattern, or anything like that. What we're going to talk about today is risk management because this is very important. In fact, it's critical. A lot of times, in my opinion, there are a lot of materials out there that simply focus on the reward of trading. But in order to consistently be profitable, you're going to have to acknowledge and you're going to have to understand the potential risks that are involved in trading, whether it's binary options, whether it's spot forex, stocks, bonds, commodities, whatever. So, with that said, we're going to jump right in, and I want to look at the 95% rule because I'm sure you've probably heard that 95% of the people who endeavor to actually trade um, end up unprofitable out even after the first year. Now, let's look at this rule and let's look at it in detail. What I've got here is a bit of numbers that I put together. They're based on, I took the most profitable spot forex broker of 2013, and I averaged how many people were profitable each quarter on that broker. And we're going to take those numbers and we're going to go forward, and I'm going to try and explain the 95% rule. And most importantly, I'm going to explain how you can avoid it. How you can stay out of the crowd of 95% of the people who are just not profitable trading. Okay, at the top of the year, we've got 100 traders. 65% of these traders in that first quarter alone, 55% of them, I'm sorry, they will not be profitable. And what's going to happen is now we're only left with 45 traders that are actually profitable even in that first quarter. Okay, of those 45 traders that are profitable that first quarter, we're going to go forward using that same average where a majority of them, 55%, are not profitable. And what we find is by the end of that second quarter, we've only got a little over 20 traders out of our 100 that are actually still profitable. Okay, as we move forward in our third quarter, we got 20.25 traders. And by the end of that quarter, 9 months into the trading year, we've only got about 9 traders that are actually profitable. And in that last quarter, the war of attrition has whittled us down to only 9 profitable traders. And again, slightly more than half of them will not be profitable, which is where we end up with roughly 96 out of the 100 traders not being able to be consistently profitable that entire year. Now, here's the fascinating thing. What what exactly would you guess the 4 traders that are left here? What do these guys all have in common? Now, I will suggest to you that every last one of these 4 traders that are left, they have a proper understanding of risk management, and they probably have some good trading psychology as well. Because, in my opinion, risk management and trading psychology, excuse me, are going to go hand in hand, and they're going to work in a synergy to help you when you can grasp and you can apply them. So now let's throw out some hard numbers here. We're gonna pop up 1%, 2%. I'm sorry, 2%, 3%, and no, 5%. Okay, let's say that you're trading at a binary broker. You've got $100 in your account. What are these numbers here representing? They're representing how much different levels of exposure that you can apply to each of your trading ideas. If you got 100, maybe you want to only expose 1% per trading idea. Um, this is going to give you the ability to have 100 trades as long as you never expose more than that to one particular trading idea. And every trader, no matter how good you are, no matter how good your strategy is, you're going to have drawdowns at a point. Now, when you're applying that 1% rule, you'll find that the drawdowns are less dramatic. But maybe you've got a little bit more tolerance. Maybe, you're a bit more aggressive. Well, maybe you want to do 2%. Or maybe you're more aggressive than that, and maybe you want to do 3%. Or maybe you want to do 5%. Maybe you're just very, very aggressive. Now, I'm stopping here at 5% because this gives you, um, if you can be disciplined and apply these rules, you've got 20 trades. You need 20 consecutive losses, most likely to blow your account entirely. As long as you can stick to this rule here, steadfast. Now, let's look at where we got some of these numbers from. These are popular numbers. You'll hear a lot of people mention them, but you'll also hear some people mention where you start to experience the kind of quicksand trading psychologically. And I believe that is somewhere around uh, negative 20 to 20 through 40% drawdown. This is where you start to get nervous. And this is where you start to question your strategy, question your rules, question your trade size, because the significant losses will sometimes make you want to trade more aggressive sizes in order to try and endeavor to recoup your losses. This is where the baby gets thrown out with the bathwater, and this is the difference between the 96 traders at the end of the year and those four. One of those two sides are well acquainted with laws and rules and discipline, and they're going to stick within these parameters that we've set up, and it's going to help them escape some of that joy and pain with their account. Let's point this out also in another way. The very first time, uh, or maybe not the first time, but certainly the best explanation I've ever seen of this was pointed out by Mark Douglas. at one of his webinars ages ago, and he used a whiteboard and he simply drew an equity curve. And again, Mark Douglas is a very uh, famous coach who talks about trading psychology. And while we're also talking about risk management, again, I believe that trading psychology and risk management go hand in hand. Uh, Down here at the bottom of our chart, we've got an equity curve of a trader and it's going up. Now we see a little joy, slight move down, little pain, nothing dramatic, almost straight up. How are we getting these aggressive pushes on this equity curve up? And how are we getting this aggressive push down? And how are we getting this tremendous aggressive push up here? This is the result, in many cases, of exposing larger portions of your account to risk. And no matter what anyone tells you, anytime you put on a trade, you are actually exposing your account to risk. So, with that understanding in mind, you can see these tremendous and volatile swings here from being very, very happily profitable to very sadly close to breaking even. And in a very brief time, this reflects someone losing almost all of that equity in their account. And again, you see these dramatic and volatile moves. You see some consolidation. You see more dramatic swings up, down. All of this is going to constitute joy and pain, and all of this is a result of when you start to abandon the risk parameters that you've put in place as part of your plan. There should be risk parameters in place as part of your plan. It's going to help your trading psychology, in my opinion. Well, if it's that simple, why is it that a lot of people aren't talking about it? Maybe someone's saying that. And again, this is just my opinion. A lot of the education that you get from brokers, um, even the educators that they bring to the table, they're there at the expense of the broker, and they're there to teach you to put on a volume of trades, and that volume of trades will often entail a considerable amount of risk as well. They're not going to talk a lot about it. They're well aware of what this results in psychologically, but it's very difficult to get a to be educated by someone who is actually their time is being financed by the broker. Why don't I see a lot of YouTube videos like this one talking about it? They're out there, but there's not a lot of people searching for them. Again, this is not a popular topic, but this is more than half the game. Let's look at this area here. We've got another yield curve here in blue, and we just see a nice aggressive, not as aggressive, but a nice consistent move up. Uh, Marginal drawdowns, consistent rebounds, and overall a more dramatic move to the north side is our imaginary year progresses. Were there some points in here, maybe from here to here, where we can certainly see a more dramatic uh, move up in revenue in a lot briefer time? Yes, there were. But dramatic moves down, as we're seeing here, uh, those were excluded from this equity curve right here. So again, 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%. This sensible position sizing is going to help you win that war of attrition. It's going to help you as you endeavor to stay in the trading game long enough till you start to gather an understanding of what strategies and what uh, psychological uh, practices work for you as well. You need to practice whatever is going to make you comfortable while you're doing your trades. It's going to take some time to discover that. It's going to take some time to discover yourself as a trader. And that's why it's very important to begin the practice of consistent risk management, not only to help your accounts equity be more consistent over a longer period of time, but it'll also help you as it works hand in hand with trading psychology. And that's really all I had to share with you guys today. Once again, this is Alfred from BinaryOptionsTutor.com.